Eleanor sat at her kitchen table, the morning sun cutting through the sheer curtains like a soft memory. The clink of her teaspoon against her teacup was the only sound in the room. She was 82 now. The number didn't bother her. She'd lived through wars, heartbreak, and entire eras changing. What did trouble her was how quickly things could slip. A friend broke her hip last winter and never walked again. Another fell into forgetfulness so fast it was like someone had pulled the curtain down on her mind overnight. Eleanor didn't fear aging. She feared losing herself inside it. So she made a choice. She would not surrender to the quiet erosion of time, not without a fight. Over the next year, she discovered 5 critical steps that didn't just slow decline, they gave her a second wind. These weren't medical miracles or silver bullet pills. They were simple, powerful shifts in how she approached every day after 80. 1. Move every day, even when you don't want to. Eleanor had never been much for formal exercise, but when her doctor mentioned the words muscle wasting and mobility risk, she realized something had to change. At first, it was as small as walking the length of her hallway 5 times after breakfast. Then she started dancing slowly to her favorite jazz record while making lunch. She added in light resistance band workouts from a YouTube channel for seniors. Some days she only managed a few shoulder rolls and leg lifts from her chair, but she did it, every day without fail. And slowly, her body responded. Her legs felt sturdier. Her arms could carry groceries again. The stairs no longer terrified her. You don't stop moving because you get old, she said to her friend Marlene. You get old because you stop moving. Number 2, feed the brain like it matters, because it does. There were days Eleanor couldn't recall names right away or forgot where she put her reading glasses. But she refused to accept mental fog as inevitable. She replaced crossword puzzles with brain training games she played on her tablet each morning. She read nonfiction books out loud to herself to keep her speech fluid and her mind sharp. She began learning French again, a dream she had put off for 60 years. But just as important was what she put on her plate. Blueberries, walnuts, spinach, salmon, foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3s, and brain-supporting nutrients. She gave up sugary cereals and began cooking with turmeric and olive oil. She drank more water and fewer sodas. It's not just fuel, she told her nephew. It's the difference between losing my words or keeping them. 3. Prioritize purpose over routine. After her husband died, Eleanor had drifted through her days like a ghost in her own house. Laundry, meals, television, sleep. The routines kept her going, but they gave her no reason to thrive. Then one spring morning, she signed up to volunteer at the library's children's reading hour. At first, she doubted herself. Her voice was shakier, her eyesight poorer. But the moment she read The Velveteen Rabbit to a group of giggling toddlers, something woke up in her. She still had something to offer, still had stories to tell. From there, she began writing letters to people in hospice care through a nonprofit program. She knitted blankets for local shelters. She taught a weekly poetry class at the community center. Purpose doesn't retire. That was the lesson. 4. Build a circle, even if it's small. Loneliness crept in like cold air under a door. At first, it was subtle. She stopped calling friends, started saying maybe next time to invitations. Then it became dangerous. A week went by without speaking to another person, and the silence began to eat away at her spirit. So she made a list. People she loved but hadn't spoken to in a while. Every week she called one. Sometimes they only chatted for 5 minutes, but it mattered. She also joined a senior walking group that met in the park every Wednesday. At first, she simply walked quietly beside them. Then, she began sharing stories, laughing at jokes, trading recipes. Isolation accelerates decline, she realized. Connection slows it. You don't need dozens of people, she said. You just need someone who knows if you're not okay. Prepare for bad days with a plan, not panic. Not every morning was good. Some days, Eleanor woke up feeling tired, stiff, or just emotionally low. Before, she'd spend those days under blankets, worrying that it was the beginning of the end. But now, she had a plan. On her refrigerator, she taped a simple list. When I feel bad, 1. Drink a glass of water. 2. Stretch for 10 minutes. 3. Listen to music I love. 4. Call someone. Get outside, even just to the porch. It wasn't foolproof. Some days were still hard. But with a plan, the fear didn't spiral. She took control, one small action at a time. That structure gave her strength. Instead of dreading the bad days, she faced them. A year later, Eleanor sat at the same kitchen table, her tea still warm between her hands. Her hair had thinned more. Her hands trembled slightly. But she felt stronger than she had in years, not in the way of youth, but in the way of someone who refuses to fade quietly. She knew decline was inevitable in some form. But it didn't have to be sudden. It didn't have to be passive. These 5 steps weren't about avoiding death. They were about living, right up until the last sentence. And if anyone asked her secret, she'd smile gently and say, keep moving. Keep feeding your mind. Find your reason. Stay connected. And when it gets hard, have a plan. That's how we hold on to ourselves.